What if the sleep practices of Tibetan monks and the induction techniques developed in sleep labs are training the same skill, staying conscious inside sleep? And by learning both, you can use dreams for inner work and practical rehearsal. Welcome to Beyond the Mind. Tonight I'll guide you through two parallel traditions that converge on one strange, powerful territory: lucid dreaming. One path is ancient Tibetan dream yoga, called Milam, a disciplined contemplative system aimed at maintaining awareness through sleep and preparing the mind for the transition of death. The other path is modern and empirical. Sleep researchers develop repeatable techniques to induce lucidity in REM sleep for purposes like nightmare therapy, creativity, and skill rehearsal. I'll explain the history and intention behind dream yoga, the neuroscience of REM and lucidity, and give you a clear, voice-ready, practical protocol you can try over the next week. I'll also include a simple daytime micro-practice called reality testing and 3 induction methods used around the world: mild, WBTB, and wild. If you want sources for the claims I make, check the description. I've listed classic dream yoga texts and foundational sleep research there. First, what is lucid dreaming? Plainly put, a lucid dream is any dream in which you recognize that you are dreaming while you are still dreaming. That recognition can be a split-second insight or a sustained, reflective awareness that allows you to explore, rehearse, or transform the dream content. For some people, this is rare and spontaneous. For others, it is a skill that can be trained. The two traditions we'll explore, Milam and modern induction science, approach that skill from different goals and languages, but they use the same psychological levers: intention, attention, memory rehearsal, and timing relative to REM sleep. Let's walk the older path first. Dream yoga is embedded in Tibetan contemplative culture and appears across multiple lineages. It's not framed as entertainment. Its primary aim is liberation. Practitioners train to recognize the dream state as dream, to see through the habitual narratives that sustain ego-bound identity. Techniques include daytime contemplations that emphasize the dreamlike quality of waking life, pre-sleep visualizations or mantras to stabilize awareness, and specific practices once lucidity is achieved inside a dream, investigating the dream's nature, transforming threatening dream elements, and using vivid nocturnal experiences to realize the mind's luminosity. In traditional teaching, dream mastery is connected to training for death, the logic being that the clearer your awareness during sleep, the more likely you can maintain presence during the disorienting process of dying. Whether one accepts that metaphysical framing or not, the instructional approach is methodical, ethical preparation, repeated exercises, and careful integration of nocturnal insights into daily behavior. Now the modern path. In the 1970s and 80s, sleep labs made lucid dreaming measurable. Researchers discovered that experienced lucid dreamers could produce prearranged signals, typically specific left-right eye movements, visible on sleep recordings while remaining in REM sleep. That proof turned a subjective report into a verifiable state, and it opened the door to controlled induction techniques. LaBerge and colleagues popularized mild, a mnemonic technique that uses prospective memory rehearsal and documented methods like WBTB, waking briefly to re-enter REM with the strengthened intention. There's also wild, wake-initiated lucid dream, which attempts to preserve waking awareness as the body falls asleep and the mind enters REM. Empirical work shows these methods raise the probability of lucidity when practiced reliably. Neuroscience helps explain what's happening. REM sleep is a distinctive brain state. Sensory and emotional areas are highly active, producing vivid imagery and intense effect, while parts of the prefrontal cortex, the regions involved in self-reflection and executive control, are usually quiet. Lucid dreaming appears to be a hybrid. The sensory-emotional REM machinery is online, but prefrontal. Metacognitive networks show increased activation compared to ordinary REM. In short, the very networks that allow you to reflect on your own mental states are partially reactivated inside some REM episodes, and that reactivation correlates with the ability to realize, I am dreaming. This neural pattern helps make sense of why training attention and perspective memory affects lucid frequency. So why do these two cultures converge on similar techniques? Because both are trying to bias the mind toward noticing internal discrepancies, dream signs, and because both exploit predictable rhythms of sleep. 4 practical levers are shared. Intention. Set a clear, simple instruction before sleep. Tibetan practitioners may frame it as maintaining presence. Modern lucid dreamers use mnemonic sentences like, "Tonight I will realize I'm dreaming." This primes the brain to detect signals of unreality, attention, and metacognition. Habitual self-identification with thoughts and perceptions makes lucidity rare. Training a stance of meta-awareness, observing experience rather than being swept away by it, increases the chance you'll notice when dream logic breaks. Memory rehearsal. When you wake from a dream, recalling it carefully and rehearsing how you would spot its oddities next time strengthens a prospective memory. A tiny intention program to trigger during future dreams. Timing. REM cycles repeat roughly every 90 minutes and lengthen later in the night. Techniques that exploit late-night REM, like WBTB, raise the odds that you'll enter a REM episode while carrying a fresh waking intention. Now I'll give you the most accessible daytime micro-practice, reality testing. It's simple, reproducible, and portable, perfect for carrying into daily life, and, if you do it often enough, into your dreams. Reality testing, 4 steps. Pause and ask, am I dreaming? Either silently or out loud. Look at your hands. Spread your fingers and notice details. In dreams, hands often appear blurred, misshapen, or have the wrong number of fingers. Read a short line of text, look away, then read it again. Text in dreams frequently shifts or becomes unreadable. Reinforce intention. Say to yourself, tonight I will realize I'm dreaming, and briefly visualize performing a reality check inside a dream. Do a reality test at least 10 times a day, on the hour, during transitions, after meals, before leaving home, and whenever something strikes you as odd. Over time, this habit becomes automatic, and you will eventually perform these checks while dreaming, which can trigger lucidity. Next, 3 induction techniques you can try tonight, with practical steps you can follow. Technique A, mild mnemonic induction of lucid dreams. If you wake briefly from a dream, stay still and recall the dream in as much sensory detail as you can. Identify a dream sign, an odd or impossible element. Then, with the dream fresh, repeat to yourself with conviction, next time I dream, I will realize I am dreaming. Visualize yourself noticing the dream sign in the next dream and becoming lucid. Keep the intention vivid as you drift back to sleep. Mild leans on perspective memory and has empirical support from lab studies. Technique B, WBTB, wake back to bed. Set an alarm for roughly 4.5 to 6 hours after you fall asleep. Wake up and stay awake for 20 to 60 minutes. Use the time to read about lucid dreaming, review your dream journal, or quietly practice mild. Then return to bed with a strong intention. WBTB elevates REM density when you return to sleep and often increases the odds of lucidity. Technique C, wild, wake-initiated lucid dream. After WBTB, lie down in a comfortable posture and relax completely. Watch for hypnagogic imagery, visual patterns, shapes, or fleeting scenes without grasping them. Maintain a neutral, observing attention, anchored to breath or a repeated word. If you can keep awareness while the body falls asleep, you may step directly into a dream while conscious. wild can produce immediate lucidity, but often requires patience and can provoke hypnagogic sensations or brief sleep paralysis, which are harmless but may be unsettling for some. To make these techniques sustainable, use a simple nightly checklist. Evening. Reduce screen time for 30 to 60 minutes before bed to support natural circadian signals. Pre-sleep. Spend 5 minutes setting intention. Say clearly, "Tonight I will realize I'm dreaming." Sleep for roughly 4.5 to 6 hours. Wake for 20 to 45 minutes, WBTB. Use this time for mild rehearsal or light reading. Return to bed with intention. Use visualization or attempt wild if you feel calm and ready. Morning. Write down any dream fragments immediately. This strengthens recall and supplies material for mild. If you want structure, here's a 7-day starter plan to build the habit. Day 1. Begin reality testing and start a dream journal. Do not add WBTB yet. Day 2 to 3. Keep up reality testing. Aim for at least 10 checks per day. Each night, prime intention before bed. Day 4. Introduce one WBTB session and practice mild upon returning to bed. Day 5. Continue reality testing, evening intention, and morning journaling. Repeat the WBTB/mild. Day 6 to 7. If you feel rested, attempt one wild after WBTB. Otherwise, continue mild and consistent journaling. Track increases in dream recall and any spontaneous lucidity. A few troubleshooting notes. If your practice causes frequent awakenings and daytime sleepiness, scale back the number of WBTB sessions and protect your total sleep time. If you experience hypnagogic vibrations or brief sleep paralysis during wild, remember these are temporary physiological states and not dangerous. Shift attention to calm breathing and wait for the episode to pass. If you have a diagnosed sleep disorder, epilepsy, severe anxiety, or PTSD, consult a healthcare professional before experimenting with frequent sleep interruptions or intense wild attempts. Can lucid dreaming change waking life? The evidence is nuanced. Studies show lucid dreaming can reduce nightmare distress and can sometimes aid rehearsal for specific tasks or creative problem solving. Results vary by study and method. Lucid dreaming is a useful tool, but not a universal cure. If your intention is therapeutic, for example, to reduce nightmares, consider working with a clinician experienced in sleep or dream therapy. A brief ethical note. If you explore dream yoga, respect the tradition's ethical foundation. Tibetan teachers insist that extraordinary experiences must be integrated with compassion and practical discipline. Without that grounding, intense nocturnal experiences can be destabilizing. Modern lucid dreamers should likewise use dream practice to support real-world relationships and responsibilities, rather than as an escape. Before we close, here are 3 quick tips to increase your chances of success. Consistency beats intensity. Daily reality testing and journaling are more effective long-term than occasional marathon attempts. Keep a simple, attractive dream journal. Even a short bullet list of fragments is fine. The act of writing strengthens recall and fuels mild rehearsal. Combine contemplative tone with curiosity, not force. Lucidity grows from steady presence, not anxious striving. If you want to try a small experiment, commit to 7 days of reality testing and journaling. Perform one WBTB with mild on days 4 to 7, and report back what changed in your dream recall or lucidity. Small, steady habits yield the most usable insights. Safety reminder, prioritize sleep health. If you feel excessively sleepy during the day, scale back night practices and consult a professional if needed. Thank you for exploring this with me. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to Beyond the Mind for more videos that blend ancient practice with modern science. Like the video if you learned something new, and tell us in the comments, Which induction method are you going to try first? Share any dream signs you notice. And if you'd like a printable one-page protocol for reality testing plus mild plus WBTB, write printable protocol in the comments or check the description for a downloadable sheet. If you want a timestamp audio version of this script or a short guided reality testing audio to use through the day, let me know and I'll prepare it. Sweet dreams and good practice.